know something I've learned after years of working with behavior students? Kids can spot a fake from a mile away. Hi, I'm David Locke, and welcome back to the Behaviorist Show. Kids know when you're pretending to have it all together. They know when you're trying too hard to be the authority. And honestly, the adults they usually trust the most are the ones who are comfortable enough to laugh at themselves. Not weak, not a professional, just real. Because one of the most underrated behavior strategies in education is having a healthy sense of self. Knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, knowing what you're good at, and what you still struggle with. And then being okay with it, owning it. A lot of adults think respect comes from appearing perfect. But with kids, especially difficult kids, respect usually comes from honesty. Kids need to know you were once a kid too. You struggled. You made bad decisions. You got embarrassed. You failed tests. You said dumb things. You lost your temper. You made mistakes, and hopefully you learned from them. That's what gives you credibility, not pretending you've always had life figured out. I tell my students all the time, listen, I'm trying to help you avoid learning things the hard way like I did. That's honest, that's human, and kids connect with that. Some adults are terrified of looking too silly in front of kids. Meanwhile, the best classrooms I've ever seen are full of laughter, not chaos, not disrespect, just humans enjoying being around each other. If I trip over a backpack, I'm probably going to laugh before the kids do. If I accidentally say the wrong word, we're all going to have a good time with it. If I make a mistake, I own it because kids need to see adults handle mistakes in a healthy way. That's a life skill. And honestly, some of the most emotionally rigid adults I've met are people who never learned how to laugh at themselves. Everything becomes personal, everything becomes so defensive. Everything becomes a power struggle. Sometimes you need to loosen up. One thing I think we forget as educators is kids are always watching how adults respond to failure, not just what we say about it, how we live it. When you mess up and calmly say, you know what, that was my fault, my bad, you're teaching accountability. When you apologize to a student sincerely, you're teaching emotional maturity. When you laugh at your own mistake instead of getting defensive, you're teaching confidence. And believe it or not, some kids have never seen adults do that, ever. Now, personally, and my wife can verify this, I'm basically perfect. So sometimes I have to make mistakes on purpose just to demonstrate proper apologizing techniques for my students. You're welcome. Educational service. But seriously, kids do not need perfect adults. They need grounded adults. Adults who know themselves, adults who can admit flaws, adults who can grow, adults who can laugh, adults who can say, yeah, I've messed up before too. That honesty goes a long way with kids, especially the tough ones, because eventually they start thinking, maybe if this adult survived mistakes, maybe I can too, and that's powerful. I'm David Locke with the Behaviorist Show. Join us next time. Please like, share, and subscribe with your friends.